In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make a header for your Tradebit store, something like this one here. You can use free software to do this called paint.net. Okay, once you've opened it up, this is what it looks like. Now, Tradebit requires that you have a certain size of image, which is 640 by 120. So what you do is just go to Image, click on Resize, and then in here, make sure that you get rid of Maintain Aspect Ratio, and then here put 640 by 120. Click OK. Okay, now this is the size of the header for Tradebit. Now what I like to do is I like to make a border around it, makes it look nice. So what I do is I pick this rectangle select here, I click on that, and then what I do is I draw a rectangle within here and try and get it fairly even so that there's a border around the outside of the rectangle, something like that. Then what I do is I go into Edit and then I go Invert Selection. Okay, down here on my color wheel, I now decide what color I want my border. You'd want to make this border the same color you're going to use as the color scheme in your Tradebit store. Now, of course, these instructions for Tradebit header, this can go for any website. You're going to do the same thing here, but I'm just doing this specifically for Tradebit. Okay, so if we're going to use black like I have here, then we'll do that. You can pick colors out of here with the color wheel, or you can click more and you can set them here, use the hex codes or the other codes down here. Okay, we'll put that on less. I'm going to use black. So what I do now is I use the bucket fill. I just click on that, paint bucket, and then I click right there. Okay, that gives us a border around our image. Okay, now the next thing I do is I import some clip art or some images that have something to do with what I'm doing. So to do that, what you do is you go to Layers, and then you import from a file, and that way you can import an image right into your banner. Okay, so we'll import from File. Pick it from here. Now, as you can see, that's far too big, so let's undo that. And what we have to do is shrink that up. Okay, so let's undo. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to open that image and edit it. So what we'll do now is we'll go to New, just click OK here. Now we haven't lost this one, it's still here, we can come back to it. But what we're going to do is we're going to import an image. So we'll do Layer, and then we'll import from Image, and we'll bring that image in by itself. Okay, now to shrink this, all we have to do is go to Image. First we're going to do a crop to selection so that we just get this image without all the background around it. Then we're going to resize just like we did before. And this time we will keep the aspect ratio, but we want to make this about 105 or so. Make sure this maintain aspect ratio is checked. Okay, so let's click that. That's still probably a little too big. Let's go back and make this 85. Okay, now we can save this, and we'll just call it New. Doesn't matter what you call it, we're just going to save it. And that will have saved it as a PDN file. What you want to do is save it as a JPEG. So make sure that you change this to JPEG. Then save it. Okay, and then you got to go through this little episode here where it gives you a preview. You click OK, tells you to flatten it, and then it's ready to go. Now, that's all saved for us, so we can go back to our other one here just by clicking there. And now again, we're going to import from File. This time we'll pick New, and there is the image we just created. So we can drag that where we want it. Say we want it right there, and that's it. Now the next thing I like to do is to put some text in here. So you can either use this text tool, or you can go to a site called Cool Text, and you can use that to create some text for you. And then you can bring it in as a layer. Okay, so first let's deselect this. Okay, and then that's where it's going to go. Now, I'm going to show you quickly how to use cool text. Okay, so you go to cooltext.com. This is what you see when you get in here. You can choose a logo style. You can use anything you want. I like to use outline. I click on that. Then you come in here and you design your logo. So all you do is you put your text in here. So sort of like that. You can now choose a font if you want. Just click on there, and there's all kinds of different fonts you can choose from here. Find whichever one you want. You can go through, check them all out, find one that you like. Okay, so we'll go with that. Now down here, you need to change the text size. So let's go with 30 here. And you can come back and adjust this if it isn't right. You can adjust your gradient here. So let's go with something more in the black and gray family. So let's use this one. Down here you have a start color and an ending color and an outline color. So I'm going to have my end color more in the black family here. And outline color, you can change that if you want. Background color you can leave as is, and make sure that you choose PNG with transparency down here. Okay, render your logo. Okay, and here's what our banner ends up looking like. Now if you don't like that, you can go back and edit it until you get it the way you like it. Now we just download this image. So save it somewhere on your computer, and then we're going to bring that in as a layer. Okay, so I'm just going to change the name of it to text just by typing over top of it there. Save. Okay, so now what we can do, go back to paint.net again. Then we want to go to layers, and again, import from file. Pick text. That's one we just created. And there is our text for our banner. So you put that where you want it. You can drag it around till you have it where you want it. Just like that. Once you have it where you want it, just deselect. And there you go. And you can do anything else to this that you want. You could type in some more text over here, or whatever you like to do. Bring in more images. But that's basically how you do it. We now have a nice looking banner that we created with all free tools. So the next thing you need to do is save this. So first I would save it as a PDN file, which is a paint.net file. That way you can come in and change it easily. So all you have to do is click the save button and then save it with a title as a paint.net file. And then after you've done that, you can do a save as, and then you can save it as a JPEG file. And that's the file that you're going to use on your website. So you just save that. Let's just call this sample. Click save, and again just click OK here and flatten, and there it is. So you now have your image ready to put on your Tradebit site, and of course you can put this on any other site you own as well. You can use the same procedure.